Hey y'all, Elaine here, and recently I went to see a local high school perform Fiddler on the Roof, and the entire cast was quite good. They were quite impressive, and they had really worked hard on this production. And so during intermission, I drew a quick sketch of the young man who played Tevye as he sang If I Were a Rich Man. And it was coming along. When I got home, I decided to do a quick painting. I always think it's going to be a quick painting or a quick little project, and I always get so involved in making all the details right. Kind of a perfectionist that way. Well, it was going pretty well, working out the skin tones, which is tricky for me still, working with watercolor, and I started noticing that everything was some sort of brown tone, like darker browns and lighter browns, but everything was brown, and I was starting to really struggle with making sure that everything didn't all blend together in brown. Well, so with that in mind, I got to this point where I just didn't know where to proceed. I was trying to work out the fine details and not sure whether to go in with colored pencils or try to use a fine brush to add the little details, or what I should do. And so for a couple days I just put it aside and didn't work on it. Worked on other things, and maybe that was a mistake, because I have a hard enough time keeping the kids out of my projects. But when I leave them alone for a while, they sometimes become fair game. Last year, around this time, I decided to create a couple of special decorations for their birthday parties, and so Applejack, I did these great big posters of the characters from the themes of their birthday parties, and Applejack ended up with one of the kids' little signature all over her leg. That was after I had already finished making this entire poster-sized pony, and it was too close to party time. There was no way I could go back, and so I just rolled with it and decided it was, their signature on that particular little birthday decoration. No big deal. Well, then Lightning McQueen from the Cars themed party also received a rather large signature right through the middle. And again, I wasn't sure what to do with it, but it was such a big project and half finished at that point that I just decided to roll with it. I think in the end I was the only one that really noticed what had happened. Well, this project sat for a couple days and it without my attention, and one day I noticed the little guy was sitting over there next to my desk and wasn't sure what he was doing, so I went to take a look, and yeah, there you have it. There's a big brown ink signature, courtesy of a nearly 3-year-old. And what do you do? Do you scrap it? Say, okay, this isn't going to work? Do you? At this point, if I scrapped it, there was no way I was going to be able to reproduce the entire thing. I'd lost some of my momentum to even proceed, let alone start over. So I knew that I couldn't start over at this point. And so I decided instead to use it as a challenge, to see what I could do with it. Somehow incorporate it into the painting, or just somehow let this be a lesson for myself. A challenge to help me get going. Actually, it did. It helped me to, because, like I said, I was at a point where I wasn't sure how to proceed, and so this was a little push to pick it up again and see what I could do with that signature right through my painting. And so I decided to see what I could do. Oh, there's another time that he was up at my desk and gave himself a little smudge of brown paint where I had some wet paint there, and he smudged it, and so tried to clean it up as best I could, but by that point it had stained the paper. There's a PB&J for you. Yeah, they love to sit on my lap while I'm painting and drawing, and I let them, because I like to do things to try to encourage them to be a part of my work, and I don't like to just push them away. And because really right now I'm uh, just practicing for the most part, and not really working professionally, just trying to improve and practice this art. And so try not to take myself too seriously or to get too upset when little things happen. Um, and still allow the kids to be the main focus of what I do in my everyday as a stay-at-home mom. That's what I do. Oh, and so uh, yeah, I try to roll with the little things that happen and just see what I can do to enjoy the kids, enjoy some time as an artist, and I don't want to give up either one. Um, I have people ask me on occasion how I find time to do things like art, and you know everybody has to have their thing. I think if you don't have a thing that is yours, then somehow you lose a part of yourself, and you just um, makes it harder to deal with the things that you have to deal with. You have to take care of yourself and kind of put some of the things that matter to you in the foreground. Um, I don't think I could ever just give up having something in my life, art or whatever. Maybe your thing is reading or playing games or whatever. You've got to have your thing that's yours. And so when the kids did this production, the stage was lit in pinks and purples and blues, kind of like a sunset, maybe from that song in the play, Sunrise, Sunset. I don't know. Never thought about it before, um, but that's how they had done the lighting of the stage. And so um, I thought that was really cool. And so this little signature that was all over my page, I decided to use as kind of a guide. You know how when you're a kid you do a great big swirly scribble all over a page, and then you paint like every little space in this swirl, you paint a different color. Well, that's what I decided to do with this painting, and see if maybe I could turn it into looking like a sunset. And yeah, that's what I did with that. And I think it turned out looking really kind of cool in the end. Um, and yeah, I'm rather pleased with the results. And I'm glad I kept going. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye. You know what? I still have that song in my head. Dun 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 dun.